What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Whoosh video review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new 3A Toys UKTQ and Shadow UKTQ, or Tomorrow Queen. These figures were just released from 3A Toys. The pre-orders, of course, went up way back in April, and they're just hitting people's mailboxes now. So today we're looking at the standard UKTQ and her secret drop variant, Shadow UKTQ. For those of you unfamiliar with how 3A operates, the secret drop is a chase figure that popped up on the website during the pre-order sale only a couple times and only for a minute or two each time, so she was pretty scarce. A couple days ago we looked at their counterpart, the UKTK, or Tomorrow King. So tonight we're going to be focusing on these two lovely ladies, and these are the boxes that they ship in. These are what are called the art boxes, and they come shipped in one of these brown shipper boxes right here, and usually you know which one you're getting because the box is checked. So these are the standard, I mean, in terms of size and everything, these are pretty standard Tomorrow Queen and Tomorrow King boxes. So there's not a whole lot going on with them outside of the art on the very front cover, and the artwork on both, of course, is by Mr. Ashley Wood. You can see his signature down there. And the artwork is pretty cool. I especially like, well, you know what? I don't have a favorite here. I really like both of them. Both of them are kind of doing the job for me. So, and then inside the boxes, again, it's nothing too exciting. You get the plastic tray that houses the figures, and each one comes with a poster of this same artwork. And then a little card, too, of the same artwork with a brief description, giving us some background as to what the figures and the characters are all about. Now, that description has some F-bombs and whatnot in them, so I'm not going to read it on camera. So if you want to see what that's all about, please feel free to check out the article attached to this video. So without further ado, let's get these boxes open and we will take a look at these two figures from 3A Toys. Sit tight. First up, we'll be checking out the standard edition Tomorrow Queen, UKTQ. So here she is outside of her box, and this is definitely one of the coolest Tomorrow Queens released yet by 3A Toys. I really dig the overall look and appearance of this figure. Like, just about everything about her I think is just awesome, from head right down to her toes. In fact, while we're talking about the head sculpt, how about we do a close-up on it? It is a beauty. I love the two-tone hair. The kind of peach and orange and red combination is really doing it for me. I think she looks awesome. And I like on the side, that's supposed to look like part of her head is shaved. There's this cool like white or like gray color that adds even more contrast to what's going on with her hair. And I just love the crazy sharp angles of it too. Like, this just looks like, I mean, it almost looks like a launch pad right here. It's awesome. You probably take your eye out with it, as a matter of fact. And the blue in her eyes looks really cool, and the bright red of her lips. Also, everything just comes together to look I just think she looks awesome. And this piercing she has is a curious little addition too, because it really looks like it's going through her eyeball. I think it's supposed to be an eyebrow ring of some sort. I think that's my suspicion, but it really looks like it's going through her eyeball. Her eyes are closed, and that looks like it's probably the most painful piercing ever. So I don't know if Ashley Wood is trying to start America out on a new trend here, or the world out on a new trend, but that just looks grisly to me. And it's not even that it was misplaced, like I got a bum one. All the pictures I've seen of her online, that's where the piercing is in all of them. So evidently, I mean, I guess that was intentional, and I guess that just makes her hardcore or something? I don't know. So let's just pan down a little bit, and we get to see the leather jacket and her tattered Union Jack t-shirt. That's very similar to the shirt that the Tomorrow King wore. It looks really cool. Like, I love it. The red and the white on the black looks great. And the leather jacket also just looks like worn, beat up leather. So 3A did a really good job with this jacket. Looks freaking cool to me. And then if we keep panning down, we get the skirt. 3A skirts are always a little bit on the short side, so this is no exception. So she's got a belt, and the leather skirt looks adequately beat up. And she's got these other belts hanging off her main belt. I mean, she's got a lot of belts here. I think that makes 4 belts altogether. And these 2 serve no purpose other than, embellishments. Yeah, I guess she's accessorizing or something. And like the Tomorrow King, she comes sporting a foxtail for some reason. I have no idea what that is all about, but there it is, a foxtail. So, I mean, even though her skirt is definitely on the short side, she doesn't come across as, I don't know, I guess, for lack of a better term, sexually explicit as 3A figures may tend to do. So at least there's that. And she's got these nylon stockings, I guess what are supposed to be nylons, that can, they can be adjusted. It's just soft goods clothing. I kind of like to have one up and one down like that. Since she does have this punk rocker look, it just makes her look, kind of grungy. And then she's got these great boots. These things are total kit shickers, if you know what I mean. A lot of great detail in them. I love the laces. And just like her coat and everything else, they look worn, beaten up, old. And they look like they could do some serious damage. And the soles of them have a very authentic looking, kind of like work boot sole and heel. Looks really, really, really cool. Just the overall presentation here for this figure is absolutely outstanding, I think. Definitely one of my favorite 3A figures of all time. And we can get a look at her with her Tomorrow King counterpart. We saw them together in the Tomorrow King video, but I can't get enough of these 2 together. And like all the Tomorrow Queens, she's a little bit on the tall side. She is taller than the Tomorrow King, because she's got these legs that are just insanely long. But they still look really cool together. I mean, who says girls can't be tall, So, she also comes with 2 swords, the standard Tomorrow Queen weapons that many of them do come with. And she can hold them nice and securely in her big black gloved hands. Now, as far as articulation goes, I mean, she is a highly articulated figure. Her head has a great range of motion. And her arms, I mean, I think it's a ball at her shoulder, and there's a bicep cut and a double elbow. And then her wrists are kind of a ball and hinge kind of arrangement. I believe that's what they are. Now, the jacket does hinder her somewhat. It's tough to get the arms in cool poses because the jacket, and I believe her shirt is long sleeved and it runs underneath the jacket, so there's kind of a lot there that's hindering her arm articulation. She's got a waist swivel and an ab crunch. Her legs can be moved pretty fluidly and easily. The skirt doesn't get in the way. Well, because there's barely any skirt there to get in the way, let's be honest here. And then she's got double knee joints that can get a pretty good range of motion. And then her ankles in the boots, I mean, it does move, not a ton, and it doesn't really hold a pose. So when it comes to getting her in action poses, you're going to have to play and tinker with that a bit. But I've got no problem keeping her standing, as you can see. Very easy to keep her in place. So that is the standard edition UKTQ. So in just a second here, we're going to look at the shadow. Just give me 1 second here. And here we are back with the shadow UKTQ. And by shadow, it means, she basically is a shadow of the standard edition figure. It's like the standard edition figure's literal shadow came to life. That's kind of what she looks like. She is just an all black, literally all black repaint of the standard figure. And she was a chase figure that was only up for like a minute or 2 at a time, and just a couple times during the sale. So she wasn't an easy figure to get, but then again, I wouldn't call her an essential figure. I don't think she's essential as the UKTK or the UKTQ. She's just kind of like a nice bonus or a nice variant. And normally I totally ignore the shadow variants of anything 3A has put out. I think they're kind of neat in concept, but in execution I usually think they're pretty boring. I had a shadow Bleak at one time, and well, I didn't have him for long because I ended up selling him off. So in this case, I wasn't quite sure why I ordered her. I just think it was the whole UK Union Jack thing getting the better of me during the sale, and I felt like like Pokemon, like I had to have them all. So when I saw her go up for that, those precious few seconds, I put in my order. And she is just like the standard version in most ways here. She's got the piercing. again through the eyeball. Let's get a close-up on her face so you can see what I'm talking about here. And the piercing, again, just like the standard version, it goes right through her eyeball. And just look at the black color used here. It just looks like, you know, black silk or black velvet. Looks really, really good and really, really cool. There's no indicator that her head has been shaved, though. It's just the same solid black all the way around on this side. It still just looks awesome. Like, what I was expecting from her was kind of like just being like a goth version of the UKTQ, but she's not really a goth version. She's just literally just all black. So her hair is just one single tone as well. She doesn't have the two-tone thing going like the standard version does. It's just black all the way around. Black, black, and more black. None more black. It's the Spinal Tap variant. And if we pan down a little bit, we see the leather jacket. It does not look beat up and lived in. It looks brand new and black and glossy and cool. And on the inside there, the Union Jack is still there. It's just more black on black. Again, black, black, and more black. Panning down, the belt and the skirt, again, just look like new black leather. She's got the same embellishments hanging off, the same everything. And this time, the foxtail is some kind of black tail. Like, I don't know, maybe it's a bear tail or something. Or some kind of like leopard tail. I don't know what. But it's kind of neat. I don't like it as much as the standard tail thing that the standard version has, but it's still kind of cool. I think because it just too closely resembles, I have a black cat, and this just kind of too closely resembles her tail, so I feel kind of weird looking at it hanging off the belt. So, the gloves on the two figures are virtually the same, though. It's this high gloss black, and they both come with the same swords, basically. And if we keep going down, the same stockings and the same boots. These boots are just slightly darker. They still have that same kind of lived-in, beat-up look, and the same sole and the same heel. They're just a little bit darker than the standard versions. I like these a little bit better. I mean, I guess they do look newer when I get a good look at them like this. Yeah, I guess they sort of do. When I looked at them, yeah, now that I'm looking at them side by side here, yeah, there's kind of no comparison. These totally look lived in and beat up, and these do look like brand new shiny black leather boots. So yeah. So they are, aside from the color, they are the same figure in just about every other conceivable way. So not the most essential thing in the world, but it's a cool extra to have that I'm glad I picked up. I don't regret it at all. In fact, like I said, like I half expected to just use her as trade bait. I wasn't sure I was going to keep her, but then when I opened the package and got a good look at her, I was like, yeah, I'm going to keep this figure. This is definitely going on the shelf and possibly part of the permanent collection. So that is the Shadow UKTQ. Why don't we get a shot of the three figures all together, just because why not? Because we can, and it's cool. So there's the UKTK with both UKTQs. These are three of my all-time favorite 3A figures. Definitely, definitely, definitely. All three are just awesome. So, I mean, again, these did go up for pre-order on Bombaland several months ago. So if you're after a set for yourself, unfortunately, eBay or the various 3A buy-sell trade boards are really going to be your only way to go, because they're just not available anymore. And I think they were only up on Bombaland. God, it's tough. I cannot remember the sale day all the way back in April, but they weren't up for very long, as I recall. I mean, it may have been a standard 24 hours, but for some reason, I'm remembering it as being not quite that long. But I could be wrong about that. But anyway, that is them. That is the three. I think they are extremely worth it. I'm very, very, very pleased and very satisfied with all three. And I would highly recommend these three figures to anyone who's a fan of 3A toys in Ashley Wood style, or of 1/6 scale 12-inch figures in general. All three are just really nice examples of what 3A can do. So let us know what you think about these figures, leave a comment below. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter and all that good stuff. And as always, you can always check us out on the message boards too. Let's talk about these guys and have a good old time, okay? So as always, thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe, and we'll see you very soon with another review. Thanks for watching.